Hey guys, May here, and I just want to talk for a moment about orb, how I like to say that we are orbed in here, which is essentially it's born. And I picked up quite some time ago the ORB aspect of born, because what does it really mean to be born? I mean, that's the most significant event into to experiencing this matrix for you, wouldn't you say? Like it's one of you celebrate it each year. The sun transits that date. So the thing is like I was trying to explain it to a guy, ironically, whose name is inverted. Rob is Orb. And it's interesting to me with all these star seeds floating around in in the internet world, in the digital world, all these star seeds, which is actually kind of close to what I conceive to be true as orb is it's like your eyeball is an orb. Orb is also a light, and it can also mean to orbit, like a circular sprite that you are electricity. You are orbiting, circulating around, and is what a lot of people call aura, right? Although the pronunciation's different, we've got that or again. And or is as in portal. It's similar to as in gate. So, like when I was talking about Orion, was I telling you? I was telling you about Orion the other day, I believe, and the G constellation above us, which as far as I can tell, and what I'm told by my higher self, which I trust implicitly, is that that G constellation, which includes Orion and Sirius, is directly connected to you, to this experience, right? To the IEYE emanating into the YOU. So the thing is that's what makes sense when we look at, we see the twinkling patterns and the angles, and we have these same types of little this cosmo type, if you will, these patterns in our brain, believe it or not, just like which I know you know that. So that's why if you get dizzy, you can see stars. I mean, we've got the whole mechanism which correlates to the cosmos, and we are just perceiving it like we are perceiving it. It's an inner type, inner space in which we perceive, like as opposed to rocks floating in the sky 50 million miles away. What I always say is if they say it's far, that means it's close. It's very close. I mean, just look at the sun, right? Look at the moon. They're right here. It's sort of absurd and ridiculous. And it's kind of like they're telling us this is so ridiculous. If you have enough intelligence and a cell in your brain, you will figure out. Because there's no way that Saturn or Venus could have any effect on you if it's as we were indoctrinated and told to believe, right? So what orb means is it's an orbit. It's a gate. It's a light that's inside of you that makes you that special something that has absolutely nothing to do with your avatar. I mean, your avatar, your name, your ID entity is all, these are all separate things from who you truly are. I am A May sitting here talking to you. I am your friend. Like I say, I am on your side, and we get together and we are like-minded. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here looking for alternative truths in this existence, right? But the thing is here's the thing that I would love for you to understand. And I struggled with this last night explaining it to Rob, who speaks on a regular daily basis, about what Sasquatch, Bigfoot, gray aliens, Men in Black, whatever. And that's fine. And I'm not saying none of that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I don't believe, as far as I can tell, that it happens here. It's just on a different channel, a different frequency. So, and that's a whole nother video. But what I'm getting at with orb is that for us to have this experience, we need light, you know, and of course there's Thoth, there's thought. It's thought form. It's a combination of Thoth, thought, light, and sound. And that's the only way that this experience can occur. especially considering we know it's holographic. It's a simulation of a simulation. In other words, it's a symbiotic relationship, and it requires our engagement and requires our thoughts to exist. Everything starts with thought form. So, but the orb then emanates by way of the brain. So orb, look at also in the word embryo. EY, if you study etymology, you can find out that EY uh, will often mean I, and it can also mean ye, which is you, right? And then you've got orb inside of embryo. I am orb. What more do you need? You know, and you're rolled up in a ball like a snail after conception, right? So just like the patterns of this existence, right? It's all patterns and angles emanated through waveform. So the thing is here's where I'm going with the orb, and I just wonder what you guys think. If you understand what I mean by orb, um, probably for people who listen to a lot of theories on a daily basis, especially with all the star seeds, which is for all intents and purposes can be considered similar. I do understand how that, you know, because it's a cosmology that is related to us. I mean, are there other dimensions with other beings? Of course, sure, absolutely. It's just not on this radio station. So I don't, you know, and I'm sure you guys don't either. We take it all in and we go with instinctually what makes sense to us and what our higher self tells us. And how I access my higher self, I always tell you, is through automatic writing, channeling, reverie, meditation, art, creating. That's the highest form when you really, really connect with that part of you that is really the essence of you, the EYE. And it is not this human form. But how did it all begin? How is this happening right now? How are you listening to me right now? You know, I mean, this existence, and that's why it's celebrated by the sun. I mean, this is the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, the sun and the moon. This existence is celebrated annually. This birth, BERTH, as you birthed in here, right? And the thing is then in your orbed, and that is orbit related to orbit, and the orbit sphere that is in your eye, decoded by the pupils by way of the third eye ventricle. When you activate that, you reach those higher planes and higher dimensions, higher realms, and you get more knowledge from your conduit, your silver cord, which is connected to the cosmos. And I wonder if you guys can resonate with some of that, what your thoughts, as in Mercury, what your thoughts are on that. I'm just real curious. But it's kind of fine. Like I had a fun talk with Orb. I should just start calling him Orb. I wonder if he would like that. But it was a fun talk. But I know he's pretty haggard. He gets run down with all the different. Can you imagine that kind of work? I can't with all the different concepts and theories on a daily basis. Good Lord. So, but it was a great, fantastic conversation. Otherwise, like pretty interesting, I would say. It's hard for me to do small talk, and I mean, we have to do it in this existence, don't we? It's hard for me, the who man condition. I'm pretty burnt out on at this point, and I believe that that coincides with elevation, levitating the soul. You just you have to it's upholding a charade like we talked about in another video, right? The family, the friends, like Beach Baby is talking about. They want you must conform. You must conform, right? Just to be in their presence. Thank you so much. Even though we are light years, no pun intended, ahead of them. We are more advanced than them, but we have to put on the silly wear the armor for sure. You got to put on the armor and wear their silly hat. So the thing is, I'll close right here. I was just curious if you guys understood what I meant about the orb of light and orbiting, because everything is like a circular pattern. Even this existence, the toroidal field is an orbit. I mean, it's a circular, you know, spinning type of like a world, a whirlpool, like a world loop as we loop around in these fragmented with these fragmented thoughts and scenarios. So I will stop there. I just was curious what you guys would think. This is kind of off the cuff, but very relevant. And happy Venus Day, and another video soon to come. Love chatting with you, and love to see your thoughts. Thanks so much, guys.